So, our next speaker represents a company that plays a crucial role in connecting material cycles across industries. Heidelberger Druckmaschinen operates at the intersection of machinery, consumables, and automation, creating an equipment nexus that enables circularity in the printing and packaging industry. His keynote will explore how intelligent technologies and automation can make production processes more efficient and sustainable, paving the way for a truly circular approach to industrial manufacturing. Please welcome the chairman of the supervisory board of Heidelberger Druckmaschinen, Dr. Martin Sonnenschein.
Das sagen wir auch schon seit.
So, happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting Heidelberger Druckmaschinen and myself to this event. Joe just mentioned two aspects. Keep the ambition high and make it very practical, and I think that's what we always should keep in mind. Thanks for the organizer for setting up this new Congress format. Wolfram Diener, Carsten Gerhardt and Manfred Renner, who introduced the session to it. As we are here in sharing perspective and insights across the entire value chain of relevant industries, that's exactly what is needed, and that's really the motto of this show. Right in the eye of the cycle of geopolitics, we are addressing the most pressing issue for the long run, to be sure, and not for the short run. Constraints of resource and the need for circular business. Issues that need a holistic approach. Issues that need a global approach. The need to collaborate of all stakeholders is obvious because the solutions are not easy to find. Uniting industries for a circular tomorrow, the topic. We at Heidelberg, we as the leading global solution provider for the printing and packaging industry, do take our share in doing good and innovating for the society. I might be invited as a representative of the so-called old economy, but you will see that our capabilities are right in the center of what is needed here for this discussion. There's a nice saying, there is no future without history. And there's a long history of Heidelberg, and there's a bright future too. Yesterday, 11th March 2025, marked our 175th anniversary. There's a long history of Heidelberg and Messe Düsseldorf too. Since the first Drupa, which is the #1 world printing fair globally, in 1951, we have participated every time, and even more so, almost 50% of the shows, the president of the show was coming from Heidelberg. The original Heidelberg Tegel, which was the attraction at that event in 1951, just had 5,000 sheets per hour being printed. That was the innovation by that time. Today we are at about 11,000 sheets per hour. Things have progressed, as you have seen. We have innovated and set industry standards. Heidelberg has evolved as a solution provider for commercial printing and the packaging industry. Provider of engineered equipment in sheet-fed offset, flexo digital, pre-pressed, post-pressed technology, the entire portfolio of what is needed. We are a supplier of consumables for our consumers, for our customers, and as a shaper of the industry, We are an operator of software as a service models, of subscription models, pay-per-use models, and automation solutions. We provide highly automated solutions to address the issues of our companies, of our customers. Heidelberg operates along the entire value chain in order to improve the productivity, resource efficiency, and product portfolio and solutions of our customers to their customers, as we are in a business-to-business business model. The broad portfolio of positions us to drive solutions in the circular economy. Rooted in the mindset of a German engineering world, we are very global. Some key facts: presence in 170 countries, production in Europe and even in Asia since 2004, 2.4 billion annual revenue, 9,600 employees, thereof more than 2,300 employees just work in technical service, I will come to later on. A sales and service organization with 250 sites globally serve our clients. And in terms of addressing networking capabilities between machines, already in 2004, the first machine of Heidelberg was connected via the internet. Now more than 11,000 machines out of our installed base are connected in the cloud, so there is a long history in connecting business applications. A few words on technology. Precision at its best, I would like to say it. Heidelberg is more than mechanics. The average amount of parts of a Swiss watch is about 300. A Heidelberg printing unit, just one printing unit for one color, includes up to 10,000 parts. Precision in a printing machine is needed on two levels. On the mechanical level, the accuracy of a printing machine is 1 μ. A human hair is 50, cigarette paper is 30, spinning thread is 6. So that gives you some kind of an idea how precise we need to operate. The paper handling level is as important as the machine are up to 40 meters long and run with up to 6 meters per second. 6 meters per second. That means on average 6 sheets per second. So much faster than what you see in a normal watch. You may imagine the challenge to keep the high precision in the paper flow. In addition, paper is printed on both sides. Whoever has used a fountain pen knows how difficult it might be sometimes to have a decent situation out there. A good Swiss watch may lose a few seconds per day. A few seconds per day. This would not be good enough for Heidelberg, as the challenge is to synchronize up to 20 printing units in one line in one workflow. Colors and paper need to fit at high speed, and that's what our technology provides. To make this work, 300 electrical drive units and up to 3,000 electrical inputs and outputs are managed in the standard version of our Speedmaster with 6 printing units. So Heidelberg is a lot about power electronics, automation software, and color management as core competencies of Heidelberg. If mechanical engineering, power electronic, material handling, material quality and paper attributes, chemicals and specifications, and color management, sensors, and the software automation layer are not aligned, the outcome will be poor and the human eyes will identify quickly. So collaboration of different expertise is in the center of our work and even more needed for circularity. So let's talk on circles, up and downstream in scope. There are different perspectives on circularity. From an equipment manufacturer perspective, it is about the design for sustainability. This means designed for longevity, designed for material recovery and recycling, designed for serviceability and the possibility of reuse. It's also the design for low energy consumption. What we have to optimize is all along these parameters. Just two facts. It is fair to say that Heidelberg printing machines live forever. There are many machines out there with more than 50 years of lifetime. Good for our customers, bad for our business sometimes, but it's good overall in terms of sustainability. Energy consumption has been reduced by half during the last 30 years, while performance has doubled. Looking at the manufacturing process itself, it is important to close the loops with focus on recovery and recycling, e.g. steel scrap and foundry sands. In our foundry, one of the most modern foundries in Europe, we use minimum of 90% steel scrap. Related to the refurbishment of our machines, second life and longevity, the service network and spare parts are essential. You may imagine how many spare parts we still have active in our network. There are more than 200,000 different spare parts in place and being available for our customers. In addition, we have to keep in mind the recycling cycle of our customers at their production sites. Paper waste, printing plates, and even the paper cycles of the consumers. I don't want to get into the paper recycling and these parts as it will be discussed very much later in different other aspects. But it's obvious that the specification and requirements of the material drive a lot on how it's been printed, how is it being recycled, how can it be recycled, and so on. So which requirements have to be met are the key questions. Reducing paper waste is an art or a science in itself for the printing and packaging industry. And our pre-press technology, AA powered, do a great job in reducing the needed paper and packaging material. So all of this can't be fixed alone. And as you have seen that in our presentation or in my statements initially, what different components are in there are partnerships needed between brand owners, paper manufacturers, converters, software as enabler, chemistry companies and print shops, recycling companies, and so on. You may miss one element on this paper piece, and that's at the end of the day the consumer. And we have talked about that already. If you really talk about circularity, it all starts with the demand, what is being required by the consumers, and how that is being managed there. So let's come to one important example of where you can see how chemical, our printing job, and consumer demands are all come together. We already discussed the switch from plastic to paper in the food packaging. Barrier coatings are used to prevent water or water vapor, hot and cold liquids, oils and fats from leaking out of or penetrating into paper packaging. Very big issue. The growing global demand for sustainably produced, cost-effective, recyclable and compostable packaging makes the flexible paper sector an attractive sector for us. Heidelberg and the leading manufacturer of specialty chemicals, Solenis, have joined forces in the field of paper packaging. The aim of this collaboration is to develop a cost-effective process to integrate barrier coatings for fiber-based packaging directly into the existing roll-fed flexo printing process with a the board master from Heidelberg. So this means really during the printing process, also the coating element will be done in line. And the code that is being applied in this process just all is being applied there where it's really needed and where it's required, so that reduces significantly the coat material and will do good for society and for the recycling process at the end. The machine runs at really high speed with 600 meters per minute and is with high availability, and is really a unique process of how to combine different technologies. It's a great example of bringing in capabilities and knowledge to create an innovative material or product for circularity. In addition, an efficient process for the solution is being set up. This will reduce coatings significantly there, which is at the end of the day the game. So a nice example of bringing in the different technology parts of it. So let me finish with a last statement. We can discuss in all bits and pieces on various ambition levels. For me personally, and also for our firm, there are three key words to be held accountable for. It's standardization, it's end-to-end thinking, and it's scale. We as consumers need to accept that there are limits in the set of material and combination of material to drive circularity. There are advantages to apply already existing recycling infrastructures or to develop limited amounts of new ones. This seems to limit the potential of differentiations by brand owners, but there's a solution which is called Heidelberg, because if the material is not differentiated, the printing might be differentiating. So if we don't standardize, we don't get anywhere. As explained already, we need to think backwards, so to say start with the end in mind. Output orientation is what counts. End-to-end process limits the amount of material waste and resource consumption. Thirdly, scale. We need to tackle the high volume elements to it. That just goes along with standardization. If we don't standardize, we don't get to high volume. And without high volume, we don't get the cost down. Because at the end of the day, we need to ensure that we need to get the cost down so that we solve that kind of issue. So keep in mind, by thinking about circularity, standardization, end-to-end thinking, and scale might make the race. Looking forward to our discussions. Thanks for being passionate about the topic. Thanks for being here. Thank you very much.